And Catherine like did like this kind of thing, and then did this kind of thing, and then like wiped it on her pants, and like I think I did like 4 takes of it just because I could watch her like wipe her.
Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 1 million hellions and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. 2024 may go down as the year Disney Marvel stopped the bleeding. I mean, they did start the year with Echo, but the silence on a season 2 has been deafening. And since then, especially comparing it to the last 4 years, it's been an outright celebration, largely due to the fact of Disney Marvel's White Boy Summer. It started out with Deadpool and Wolverine finally uniting Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in their titular roles. And it turns out the closest thing you could possibly get to a surefire box office hit was with a staggering $438 million opening weekend for a rated R film. And that was followed up by the Comic-Con announcements. Sure, they showed trailers for the Thunderbolts and Captain African American, but those were completely overshadowed by the Fantastic Four footage, which was received positively, and the return of the Russo brothers to direct 2 Avengers films, featuring Doctor Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr. And that was followed by the great news that Marvel was purging all the activists and activism from the building. And just this week, Deadpool and Wolverine passed $1.3 billion at the box office, their first billion-dollar film since Endgame. Sure, it's with X-Men characters, but that's not important right now. Dare I say, could things possibly be turning around at Disney Marvel?
Don't give me hope.
Let's see what they have next.
We're bringing back Agatha.
Oh my God, what the hell am I doing? This whole thing is a disaster.
Now, licking knife.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
It's been described to me that Agatha is the gayest project Marvel has ever done. Agree?
Gay, 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 gay.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Gay, 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 so gay.
The gayest Marvel project ever. Do you agree?
Gay, 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 gay.
Yeah, I definitely think it is.
Gay!
Agatha is the gayest Marvel project yet. The gayest Marvel project. The gayest Marvel project to date. Do you agree?
It better be.
Yeah.
Gay.
I think witches are queer inherently just because we are outcast and like set aside for many reasons. And I think this show shows a really good representation of different types of people.
There's all kinds of gays.
Get gayer and gayer as each episode goes.
Gay.
Gay.
Gay. That means you're gay.
What do you think are some misconceptions about Marvel?
That it's just for like straight white men.
Yeah. Yes, it will be a gay explosion by the end of it.
Okay, maybe it'll be different this time, because Agatha All Along is the first show Disney Marvel has hired a showrunner for. Jack Schaefer, the writer of WandaVision and the woman who didn't know who Mephisto was.
I was not a comic reader, so I very much relied on my producer, Mary Libanos, to be the sort of comic whisperer to me, because I didn't read very much of them, but we would sort of like go down a path and she would say, hey, it's like this, or she would like text me a cell to like be like, it's like this kind of thing. And sometimes I'd be like, oh, I get it. Sometimes I'd be like, that's Greek to me. I need you to explain it to my face.
I have to admit, Disney made an interesting choice following up Lucasfilm's The Acolyte, a show about a coven of lesbian witches, with Disney Marvel's Agatha, a show about a coven of lesbian witches.
That's a lot.
So let's talk about the spin-off show that was greenlit off a song from another spin-off show that was a prequel to another movie, Agatha All Along. Now, before we get started, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that I think it's an interesting choice by Disney to follow up the gayest Disney Star Wars show with the gayest Disney Marvel show, but that's what it is. And I'm sure glad I went through all those promotional clips, because after seeing the first 2 episodes where mostly nothing happens, they're far more unintentionally entertaining. Keeping in mind that this is yet another D+ Marvel show that you had to do homework for, you had to have watched WandaVision, which came out 3 years ago, and Doctor Strange Mom. And considering there was no previously on for this show, I hope you did.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Let's rewind WandaVision.
Agatha Harkness is based on the Marvel Comics character who is essentially the babysitter for Franklin Richards and looks a little bit like Aunt May, but hats off to Disney for getting that character accuracy down. We last saw Agatha towards the end of WandaVision, where Wanda Maximoff confined and tortured a town full of men, women, and children for a couple of kids who didn't exist.
That bitch is crazy.
That was followed by Wanda removing Agatha's power and then wiping her memory and trapping her in a spell. And after committing those heinous acts, Wanda Maximoff was allowed to go free by Monica Rambeau and kill universes for children who didn't exist because she's a woman.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
Just let us die.
Agatha all along opens up just like WandaVision, an interesting premise that's abandoned. But in this case, it's not 3 episodes, it's about 15 minutes. Agatha starts out trapped in a police procedural drama, and again, if this is something they would have stuck with, it would have been interesting, but they didn't. She's a police detective who gets called out into the woods to investigate a body that is obviously Wanda Maximoff's. And after running into various characters from WandaVision, which nobody's going to remember except maybe Anya from Buffy.
Who's the victim? She dead?
Then why do you assume it's a woman?
I don't know. Sounds more titillating.
She also runs into Aubrey Plaza, who's playing an FBI agent in The Spell, and a mystery kid who's obviously Wiccan from the Young Avengers, an aged-up version of Scarlet Witch's son, Billy.
I think he's gay.
It appears that Aubrey Plaza's character and mystery kid, who we're just going to call Wiccan to save time, know that Agatha's in a spell, which she eventually unravels when she confirms that the body that they found in the woods was indeed Wanda Maximoff, which confirms that Wanda Maximoff died at the end of Doctor Strange Mom, at least for now, and all copies of the Darkhold have been destroyed, at least for now. And if you didn't watch Doctor Strange Mom and have no idea what's going on, tough shit. It turns out Agatha was under the Scarlet Witch's spell for 3 years, which is interesting because the MCU has been under the spell of the Message for 3 years. As Agatha awakens, she reverses through all her characters from WandaVision and then ends up naked in the street being ogled by a teenage girl.
Whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey!
Then Catherine Hahn delivers a line that describes this show perfectly.
This is where hope goes to die.
This is followed by a witchy fight between Agatha and Aubrey Plaza's character Rio Vidal, which I had to look up on IMDb because they don't mention it. The fight ends when Agatha reminds Aubrey Plaza that she's not allowed to kill her. Rio, oh screw it, I'm just going to call her Aubrey Plaza, promises to return to finish her off that night, which is convenient because it allows her time along with Wiccan in the next episode to collect her coven of blandly diverse female characters.
Talk about that, people of color. Look at that poster right there. I mean, that's diversity.
It's, yeah, and I also think it's the point of it is not that, actually.
You sure about that?
And this allows us a little time to get to know Wiccan, who is the mystery kid. Now, Agatha does ask him his name and where he's from, and that gets muted, or his mouth gets sealed up, and she never bothers to bring it up. Now, canonically, he is gay in the comic books, and he's very gay in this show, and if you weren't sure, he gets a call from Boy F.
He worries.
Now, I know Disney Marvel is playing down to the lowest common denominator of your average Disney Marvel stan on X Twitter, but this might be a bit much. Why in the hell didn't you just put gay boyfriend on the phone?
Okay, I can't tell you any secrets, but I'll tell you this. If you watch my episode and you look really, really, really closely, you'll see me.
Wow. Wow, they trained you really, really well.
I cringe, Mr. Mayor.
And it wouldn't be an intersectional feminist show without constant affirmation of our character.
You seem pretty lucid for a change. Powerful.
It's not the first time your witchkin betrayed you, but you survive. In a way, few do.
Name a badder bitch in South America or Europe.
Stop it! Please!
And some sort of talk about agency.
You've been under the influence of another. They took your agency.
Off!
And the rest of the episode is spent collecting their coven. Diverse female number 1, diverse female number 2, an elderly woman, and that woman from WandaVision, and that 70s show. So it turns out Wiccan, the person you're not supposed to know the name of yet, is the one who lifted the spell on Agatha, and the reason they need a coven is to do the witch's walk on the road.
The road promises that what's missing awaits you at its end. Power is what I'm missing. Sounds like it's what you're missing too.
And you heard me right, we're not only following one of the most unlikable characters in the history of Disney Marvel, we're following her without her powers, which would have made it only slightly less annoying and boring. And this leads us to another interesting creative decision from Disney Marvel. Following up The Acolyte, the gayest Disney Star Wars show featuring a coven of lesbian witches singing in a circle, with Agatha, the gayest Disney Marvel show featuring a coven of lesbian witches singing in a circle.
Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road.
Now, thankfully, the witches that returned to kill Agatha while being able to move quite quickly upstairs or duplicate, conveniently decided to walk very slowly up to the house so they could finish their song. And our blandly diverse and non-ageist coven walk off on the witch's road into future episodes, which thankfully isn't getting a season 2.
It's the second season. Who would you love to be in it?
Well, there definitely will not be.
Oh no. Anyway, last week.
And thank God, while The Acolyte was horrifically bad, it was also memeable and unintentionally hilarious. This is horrifically bad and boring. A show that has no idea what it wants to be. At times it feels like it wants to be earnest, but it isn't. At times it wants to be funny, but it isn't. A show that wants to unravel mysteries that are predictable as they are uninteresting. Featuring a mix of bland, annoying, and unlikable characters, and what a waste of Aubrey Plaza. But not to worry, the Access Media is doing their part. From the Daily Mail, the citadel of journalism, Disney Plus fans go wild for Agatha, the best Marvel TV show ever produced, branding first 4 episodes perfect as rave reviews roll in. I love watching the Access Media burn their credibility at the stake. This is the same media that says Star Wars The Acolyte broke records for Disney Plus's biggest 2024 launch, and also said that Echo was the best Marvel show in years. No word yet on the budget of Agatha, but whatever it costs, it was a colossal waste of time and money. But the one thing it does achieve, it has 0 testosterone. And I can hear the stands now. This show wasn't made for you, and you're right. Why in the hell would Marvel want to make a show for a guy like me? By the time I was done watching it, I felt like redecorating my house while watching reruns of Glee, and I felt the masculinity draining out of my body. The only question left is, who in the hell is this show for? My wife's a freaking hair colorist and she doesn't want to watch it. The answer is simple. The show is made for wine moms with accessory kids raised by nannies, and it reflects the Los Angeles they live in today. As with The Acolyte, which was Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars in its final form, Agatha is the MCU in one of its final forms. There, I said it, and I promise you, I am more than ready to retire the MCU when Marvel is. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.